For generations, your family has used and trusted many name brand products. They've become like old friends. And here's one that lots of proud family bakers trust. Crystal Sugar. Pure, proud, sweet Crystal Sugar. A name brand you can trust.
Me? Why do I like a full-service bank? If there's anybody that understands full service, it's me. I'm a treasurer, so I need checking and savings accounts. I'm a chauffeur, so drive-in banking, gotta have it. I'm a purchasing agent, so I have to have a bank credit card. I get them all from a full-service bank. They've got the answers. I'm a nurse, I'm a plumber, I'm a full-time live-in maid. And I'm a coach.
Who helps you more than your full-service bank?
Eyewitness News, the Northwest's most complete, comprehensive, and up-to-the-minute coverage. With weatherman Roy Findon, sportscaster Ed Cairo, and anchorman Stan Turner.
Good evening, everyone. In the news this Saturday evening, St. Paul employees of the International Harvester Company voted this morning to ratify a contract offer that would end a 5.5-month-old strike. Union leaders say that they have won a great victory on that, and we'll talk to some local members about those words in a little bit. We'll hear from residents of South Minneapolis who are upset about the impending closing of the 6th Precinct Police Station. And visit a rally not far from there, a protest against a planned shopping mall development at Hennepin and Lake. But it seems our weather is as dangerous as it is lovely. There were a few showers in central Minnesota today, but we're told they're not enough to help out firefighters. Much of the state, all that is except the northeastern Arrowhead part of the state, remains in a fire watch status tonight. It's the warm, dry, windy weather that does it. The DNR tells us that between 20 and 25,000 acres have burned so far this year in Minnesota. In Morrison County, flames destroyed one mobile home and endangered another. Other big fires are burning near Hinckley and in Wadena County. The total estimated number of fires is between 500 and 550 so far. Firefighters in St. Paul were called out to a 3-alarm blaze at a sporting goods store early this morning. Officials say the blaze at Steichen Sporting Goods started about 3:40 a.m. and was under control in about an hour. No one was injured in the blaze, but smoke destroyed about $250,000 worth of stock. The fire started in the showroom and storeroom, and its cause is still being investigated. Arson has not been ruled out. And after burning for 71 hours, that fire at the Williams Pipeline Company in Roseville is finally out. The blaze killed one person and injured 3 others. A spokesman for the company says the fire department officially declared the fire over at 6 this morning, but they are taking no chances, and firefighters were still at the scene late this afternoon in case of further problems. There is no word on when the pump will be working again, but company officials say the gasoline supply will not be affected. The United Auto Workers is calling its new 3-year contract with the International Harvester Company an overwhelming victory. Harvester employees in 5 states, including Minnesota, have been on strike for the past 6 months. Channel 5's Tony Vigneri has details on that big settlement. Tony?
Stan, over 100 Harvester workers gathered in St. Paul today to review that contract. It includes a 3% pay increase for each of the 3 years under that agreement, but more importantly, it contains a quarterly cost of living adjustment. The union reportedly succeeded in forcing the company to abandon demands for mandatory overtime. The new contract means the average straight-time hourly wage will be $9.71. The employees like what they heard and voted 82-20 to ratify the agreement. If other locals around the country do the same this weekend, the employees could be back on the job Monday.
I feel it's a victory. We stopped them from all the takeaways. It was a company strike from the word going. They didn't get what they wanted completely.
You think it could open the doors, for other similar negotiations like this?
If they're as unified as we are.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. You got to be unified.
The St. Paul Harvester plant is the distribution center for truck and farm implement parts for a 5-state area. Many of the 150 employees at this plant have been pinched financially because of the long strike and are looking forward to getting back to work.
We drained our resources. We were getting really close down the bottom, but we managed to do all right.
Well, I'm really glad to be going back. The money is short, and although the weather's nice and I'd like to be off, but I'll be glad to be back.
Many of the employees said they had to take part-time temporary jobs to exist. They had no idea when they walked off their jobs last November that the strike would last almost 6 months. But now many say it was worth the wait. And Stan, there was 20 that voted against that, and you would think that it would be overwhelming. But one employee said to me, there was a lot of people that voted against it because they were just mad that it took so long to come to terms.
That was a long one, 6 months now. You say there were ratification or are ratification votes going on across the country right now, and we'll know what, by tomorrow night?
I would say Sunday, Monday morning.
Okay, very good, Tony. Thank you. Plans to consolidate the Minneapolis police precinct stations have a number of officers and neighborhood residents upset. That is especially true in the 6th precinct, this in South Minneapolis. Steve Sanger talked to a number of residents and merchants who are worried that their neighborhood won't be quite so safe anymore.
And if I catch him throwing a ball break, I'm gonna shoot him. That's what's gonna happen. Y'all gonna have to come get me because I'm gonna shoot, because that's what I'm gonna do to him.
Call us right away, though. 6th Precinct or Samantha may help you.
For 10 years, the 6th Precinct and its officers have been there, keeping tempers cool, protecting the residents, sometimes from each other. It's a tough neighborhood, a high crime area, and many residents and merchants feel a lot safer with the cops right down the street. Hool's Bar is right next door to the 6th. Most of the patrons and employees there have signed petitions protesting the closing of the station.
Without them here, the neighborhood would really go downhill. People are talking about moving out already, are carrying guns and sidearms or whatever they have to protect themselves, and it shouldn't be that way. It's not fair.
What kinds of people do you think you have around here that need to be watched?
Hustlers, pimps, prostitutes, winos, panhandlers.
But police brass say there is no evidence to show that the physical presence of a precinct station does anything to reduce crime in a particular community. Police protection, they say, comes from patrol cars, not buildings. And by consolidating the precincts, more patrol cars can be put on the street. Some are accepting that theory, but cautiously.
I want to wait to see if what Boza is saying, that they're going to put more patrolmen on the street and make the cars more visible and the patrolmen more visible, it might work. But we'll see. I'm thinking about the people who felt that sense of security by having the station.
Next week, Police Chief Boza will meet with 6th Precinct residents to hear their complaints and to try and calm their fears. But psychologically, there seems to be no substitute for having the station right down the block. Steve Sanger, Channel 5 Eyewitness News, Minneapolis.
2 persons died last night when their small car collided with a pickup truck near Sauk Center, Minnesota. The victims have been identified as 22-year-old Leslie Clark of Burnsville and 20-year-old Janelle Mary Reichman of rural Glenwood. 3 other persons, all seriously injured, were taken to University of Minnesota hospitals. Today was moving day for residents of the Ramsey County Nursing Home. We'll be back with that story and some tips for those of you thinking of building a birdhouse to attract a particular sort of feathered neighbor.
In the early days of racing, the first car across the finish line was frequently a Fiat. Lessons learned in those days have made the Fiat X19 perhaps the best all-around sports car value on the road today. Mid-engine traction for handling, 5-speed transmission for performance, and the best mileage of any 2-seater sports car sold in America. X19, Fiat, motor cars in the great European tradition.
Hey, have you got a question about energy? Then just call Ask NSP. They've got lots of fact-filled tapes on things like energy-efficient appliances.
Some appliances are more efficient than others. Make sure you...
Future energy resources.
Solar is one promising energy resource for the future.
And what insulation can do for you.
Correct R value is very important. Check
it's simple. All you do is dial 330-6000 and Ask NSP. It's the energy library at your fingertips.
The cavalry scout. His job was to lead, to know the territory, to bring protection to people and property. That's why today the cavalry scout is the symbol of the independent agents who sell Kemper Insurance. They're people you can count on to provide superior Kemper protection for you and your family. The independent agent. Another reason, if it's worth insuring, it's worth Kemper.
This weekend in Minnesota, state political parties began selecting delegates to both the Democratic and Republican national conventions. 6 Republican and 18 Democratic delegates will go to the conventions. Ronald Reagan won all 3 delegates chosen in the 2nd District Convention in Mankato. He's expected to win the other delegates to be chosen in the 7th District Convention, this to take place in Moorhead. And the Carter-Mondale campaign expects to win 14 of the 18 delegates to be chosen tomorrow. The Seward neighborhood in Minneapolis has been the site of restoration and redevelopment lately, and residents are proud of the progress that is being made in their community. Today, some of them got together with architects, educators, and city officials, including Mayor Don Fraser, to see how their neighborhood can be further improved. Problems such as the lack of open space and affordable housing still remain in Seward. Today's brainstorming session gave residents a chance to propose their own ideas and solutions to those problems. Organizers say these ideas are heard in City Hall and that neighborhood development begins with local action. And there was some local action in the Uptown neighborhood in Minneapolis this afternoon. Residents and merchants of the Hennepin and Lake area rallied against the proposed Calhoun Square development. Protesters were saying the proposed shopping mall at the Calhoun school site would cause excessive traffic, raise rents, and run shops in the area out of business. A petition was passed around requesting a hearing on the proposed development. Organizers argued the development is too dependent on government funding, that residents should not have to support a shopping mall with their taxes. The project has yet to receive final approval from the City Council. The residents of the Ramsey County Nursing Home moved out of their turn-of-the-century quarters into a new building today. It took about 2 hours to move the 180 residents, who will now have private rooms and private bathroom facilities and, according to nursing home officials, better care. Nurses will now have a better view of corridors and open living spaces than they had in the old building. Now, here's a pleasant thought. Now that spring has arrived, songbirds are beginning to reappear in Minnesota. And if you would like some of them to take up residence in your very own yard, the DNR has a new publication designed to help you out with that. Bob Clark reports.
This year, the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources is offering this pamphlet to the public for free. It tells you in very simple terms how to build a successful birdhouse. All too often, people build birdhouses like this that end up as homes for squirrels or the wrong kind of birds.
Carol Henderson of the DNR says building a birdhouse that works well is simple and cheap enough if you know what kind of bird you want and how to attract and keep it. The problem is different bird species have different nesting requirements.
This is an example of a bluebird house which was properly constructed and used by bluebirds last summer in Minnesota. The entrance must be the proper size for bluebirds, otherwise species like starlings will preempt the house. In this case, the hole is 1 3/8 inches wide and 2 inches high. This allows the bluebird to go in, but not the starling.
The DNR pamphlet is available from the DNR St. Paul headquarters and provides information for 20 species of birds that use nesting boxes in Minnesota. And the plans include important items such as the proper color, size, and placement of the boxes to attract the desired birds. Backyard bird watching is a popular hobby that can provide many hours of enjoyment and also help keep down the local insect population. Birds such as these martins are a joy to watch, and they also eat a tremendous amount of mosquitoes and other bugs that, like the birds, are returning to Minnesota with the warm spring weather. Bob Clark, Channel 5, Eyewitness News.
As Bob reported, the pamphlets are free. They can be picked up at the Department of Natural Resources office in St. Paul, or you can write this address and be mailed one. The Department of Natural Resources, Wildlife Section, Box 7, 658 Cedar Street, St. Paul, in a zip 55155. It was dance-a-thon time at the Normandale Community College in Bloomington today. Girls from 50 of the metro area's high schools began dancing away at 8 this morning, and they wound up just as we came on the air tonight. The competition is the kickoff of the 12th annual Minneapolis Aquatennial. And as the sponsors say, can summer be far behind when the Aquatennial is already underway? Certainly not, if today's weather was anything to go by. Roy Finden's up next with more on our glorious weather.
Presenting great moments in the history of the Hams Bear.
From the land of sky blue waters, refreshing.
After great moments like those, you deserve a Hams moment like this. Refreshing as the land of sky blue waters. Enjoy a cool, refreshing Hams. The Hams Bear always comes through, just like the refreshing taste of Hams.
People, all kinds of people, all special, all different, except for one thing. Every one of them has something very special to hold on to, just like you. And when you have something special to hold on to, it's only natural to want to protect it, which is why there's Farm Bureau Insurance. We all have something special to hold on to.
Farm Bureau Insurance.
Minnesota Federal proudly presents Leisure Time Gifts. Gifts selected with you, the saver, in mind. Discover a treasure of quality name brand merchandise you'll enjoy using often or giving as a gift. All items are free or available at special savers prices with a qualifying deposit. Stop in today and see the wide array of leisure time gifts now on display at any of the 32 convenient locations of Minnesota Federal.
Do a little number on your chicken tonight. Heinz 57 sauce does it up right.
You've got the right number for great tasting chicken. Heinz 57 sauce. From chicken cordon bleu to barbecue, Heinz 57 sauce creates as many different, exciting flavors as there are ways to fix chicken. Try Heinz 57 sauce in your recipes or in ours. Look for special recipes on the bottle.
Do a 57, a little 57. Do a little number on your chicken tonight.
There's no way we can verbally do justice to this beautiful day. Let's just keep it
Oh,
going.
you people keep saying that.
I keep saying it.
You know you're just egging me on to say something about reveling and romping and carrying on and unutterably delicious and all those words.
But you won't say those.
No. I'll just say the present temperature is 75. The dew point is 26. The relative humidity is 16%. That's pretty low. The wind is from the north at 14. The pressure is 29.96 and rising. And how warm did it get today? 80 degrees. First time in about 6 months. The low last night was 50, and that's the first time since October it's been as high as 50 overnight. And it's been dry out at the airport. Well, we had a cold front on the map last night that was back here, and by golly, there it is. It's gone by. It did go by, and if you were a late sleeper, you probably missed it because it brought with us a little cloudiness. But it was gone by about 8 o'clock, and things got just beautifully and sunshiny. But of course, we captured all of that for you from the satellite to show you the cloudiness come right through. And let's look. This is the shot right at news time last night at 10 o'clock, band of clouds across the Dakotas, and we'll just roll that forward, and here we go into Minnesota. A couple of sprinkles there, here and there around central Minnesota as it went past. After sunrise, it's virtually gone, and band of cloudiness down here, and there is a partly cloudy word in the forecast for tonight with a little more cloudiness up here, but there is nothing providing any kind of activity at all. There is activity at all and more down here in Florida. In fact, let's take a closer look at that. The satellite view from down Florida shows a lot of vigorous thunderstorms in mid-afternoon. In fact, just before noontime, there were reports of tornado touchdowns, high winds, golf ball size hail in parts of northern Florida. And let's look in right now at what's happening with the Wide Area Radar Network, National Weather Service radar from Waycross, Georgia. Some intense thunderstorms are moving across southern Georgia, some very intense, and there is a tornado watch into the early evening hours that includes this section of Georgia and parts of northern Florida. And down there where there's that kind of activity, we probably suspect last night it was warm. And if we looked at our low temperature array from last night, we would confirm that. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. And that's about the only place there was any significant contrast in temperatures. Look here, all of the country is having 40s. In fact, we had a little island of 50-degree readings. The cloudiness overnight is what cuddled us into that situation. And what do you see muddying the picture? Any big abrupt changes, ups and downs in temperatures that seem to be coming toward us? No, there are none. So it looks like we'll have a day similar to what we had today. And that, of course, means that the fire weather watch status remains intact, continuing some winds. It'll continue to be rather dry. And while we mentioned the tornadoes, remember, I want you to be watching tomorrow night at 10:30, right after the Eyewitness News, for the special killer tornadoes and a new defense. That's at 10:30 tomorrow night, right after the Eyewitness News. Be sure you're watching. We're expecting nothing but another lovely Pacific area of high pressure to be moving here. Look, it's even signified by a warm front up here that's lazying its way in our direction. And this is gone, and this is out of the way, and everything is perfectly fine. High pressure, high pressure, high pressure, high pressure. For the middle of April, it's just swell. The specifics of the forecast include for tonight, partly cloudy conditions, continued mild, low from 41 to 50. That would be a little cooler than last night. And the winds will become light and variable overnight. And what does tomorrow hold? Mostly sunny and warm, 73 to 79 degrees. The south to southeast wind, 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then for tomorrow night, fair with a low of 45 to 54. And Monday will be sunny. Can you pick out the figures there? I can read them for you if you can't. They're from 79 to 85 degrees, and the initial looks into the crystal ball for Tuesday, which I think Ed will confirm is baseball day, is something in the mid-80s.
Oh, I'm glad you pointed out that 85. It almost fell off the screen there. Boy, that looks nice. Thank you. The Gophers enter the Big Ten baseball race with a bang, and the Minnesota North Stars will play the Canadiens at the Met tonight before a group of fans, which will probably be calling itself the Minnesota Sardines. It's going to be tight out there tonight. Ed Cairo has the story in just a moment.
Let's see. You and your spouse can put up to $6,000 a year in TCF for each child without paying any gift tax. Even better, you avoid paying income taxes on the interest it earns. That's because the account is in the children's names and they don't earn enough to pay taxes. And best of all, you keep control of the money as custodian of the account. Ask TCF about custodial accounts. And if you don't have any kids, I'll find you some.
Take a good look at yourself. Are you looking good or are you just okay? Shape up to date, the European way. Have a good look for yourself.
Have a good look at European Health Spa's 30-day program. Only $39.95 with free vitamins and fitness kit.
Looking good, looking good, looking good, looking good. The European way. European Health Spas. Yeah. Have a good look for yourself.
I love the pies at Poppin' Fresh. Sunday, I had succulent fresh strawberry. Monday, boysenberry a la mode. Wow! Tuesday, cherry pie. Wednesday, French silk. Ooh la la. Thursday, I went bananas over banana cream. Friday, country apple with cream. Simple. Saturday, pumpkin with whipped cream. I thought of Mom. Poppin' Fresh has so many pies, I'll be back next week. Me and those incredible pies.
Together at Poppin' Fresh.
Announcing the newest innovation in riding mowers, the Toro Mulcher Rider. The incredible thing about it is what you don't see. No discharge chute, no grass catcher, no clippings, no mess to clean up. Just one big, beautiful lawn. The unique Toro Mulcher Rider. Engineered for a long, dependable life of work-free mowing. Haven't you done without a Toro long enough?
Available at participating stores.
High of 80 degrees today in these parts, Ed, and we're going to talk about hacky.
Yes, they may be doing the backstroke out there. The ice is starting to, no, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
and as you indicated, the Met will be full as the fire marshal will allow. Standing room is gone for Game 3 of the North Stars Canadiens Stanley Cup quarterfinal series. The Stars lead that series 2-0, but the Stars are not throwing caution to the winds. Joe Malash will be in goal for Minnesota tonight, as he has been in the first 2 games of the series. But Montreal coach Claude Ruel has made a change. Bunny Larocque, and that's not he, will start for the Canadiens. Standing room only tickets for tomorrow night, Game 4, go on sale at Met Center at 12:30. In Pittsburgh, the Cardinals slipped by the Pirates 2-1 in the 8th. George Hendricks single to left knocked in Bobby Bonds to break a 1-all tie. That run proved to be plenty for the Cards and pitcher John Fulgham. Fulgham led the world champions to just 4 hits. None of those came after the 2nd inning. Gary Templeton's nice play got the final out. The Cards beat Pittsburgh 2-1. In the American League, we'll check that scoreboard first. Texas shut out Boston. It was Milwaukee over New York. Cleveland beating Toronto. Detroit over Kansas City. Nothing in from Oakland yet. In the National League, Philadelphia beat Montreal. St. Louis over Pittsburgh, as you saw. Chicago and New York in a slugfest. And San Diego shut out San Francisco. And the Twins tumbled twice in the Kingdome last night, losing to Seattle in a doubleheader, 3-1 and 3-2. The Twins play there tonight and again tomorrow before heading for Tuesday's home opener at the Met in the 80s. The Gophers stormed into the Big Ten baseball season this afternoon at Siebert Field, unloading the first game of a doubleheader with Michigan, winning it 13-2. That's Gopher quarterback turned catcher Mark Carlson with a 2-run homer in the 2nd inning, his first round tripper of the year, making it 4-0. And this is Captain Mike Lawson's double, driving in Bill Poinica and Dave Francor to make it 6-1. Incidentally, Lawson had another double and a home run in that game. Ed Reck went the distance in that game, giving up 10 hits and 2 runs, but striking out 9. In the 2nd game, however, the Gophers' pitching fell apart, and they lost it to split. That one was 7-2. Tom Watson had 9 straight pars on the front 9 and increased his lead to 4 strokes this afternoon, midway through the Tournament of Champions in California. Lou Graham is second. And with the turn in weather conditions, Joe Salem and company have decided it's already football weather.
The 1980 Gophers got their first Memorial Stadium scrimmage in this morning, one in which there were a lot of new faces appearing and a lot of familiar ones doing the expected. Marion Barber spent the morning rolling up 112 yards on 22 carries and scoring. And one of Salem's problems, of course, replacing Mark Carlson at quarterback this fall. And one of the candidates to do that is a junior transfer from North Dakota, Bruce Olson, who had a hot hand this morning. North American Soccer League games going this afternoon. Memphis with a shutout over Philadelphia. New England better by a goal over Fort Lauderdale, and Chicago a shutout over Atlanta. And quite a field, you'd expect it with this weather, for today's Un-Boston Marathon. The Un-Boston started at 9 this morning at Cretin and Summit Avenues in St. Paul and bounced back and forth across the Mississippi for the required 26 miles plus. David Peterson was today's winner in the men's open class with a time of 2 hours, 55 minutes and 29 seconds. Jerry Heap second at 2:53:11. And Rod Wagner's win in the 40 and over age group class also placed him third overall. Don Gerard won the men's 50 plus. Kate Anderson was the women's overall winner. Jackie Helm won the age 40 to 49. Pat Weisner, the 50 plus. Greg Gilbertson and Justine Walensky were among the winners in the 10K run in connection with that Un-Boston Marathon. That one sponsored by the Minnesota Distance Runners Association and the Twin Cities Oldsmobile people. And of course, the Minnesota Kicks will be looking for their first win of the season tonight in Vancouver, British Columbia. They'll be playing the Whitecaps there, Minnesota's third straight road game in a series of 5 they'll play before opening the 80 Met Stadium season with Los Angeles on May 11th. We'll televise tonight's game, Bob Bruce and Jeff Barnett from Vancouver at 10 o'clock.
Well, who's going to win the game, Ed? I mean,
It's very difficult for them to win with all the players they have out. Fletcher won't be back for a long time. Alan Willey, I guess, will be back in the lineup, but he needs help up there, somebody to get the ball to him.
Okay.
So things are still a little thin at striker, and then at wing, Willie Morgan isn't in yet. We expected him over from Scotland, but he won't be here for this game. Steve Litt got hurt in the last television game, as you'll recall. He's not in. He has a pulled hamstring muscle, so it's kind of tough. Maybe Barnett will go down at halftime and start playing in the front line for a change and let Bruce talk by himself or something.
Is Bruce any good at soccer? Maybe he can get down there.
I don't know. Well, he's a little out of shape.
All right. Okay, all right. And by the way, because of that game, the late edition of Eyewitness News tonight will be on earlier than normal. We'll see you at 9:30 with the late edition of Eyewitness News this evening. We'll see you then. Good night.
A 3-run homer in the bottom of the 4th, increasing his total big league RBI list to 11. That gave the Astros a 4-3 lead over the Dodgers, and they are in the process of winning it in the 9th. As you see on the scoreboard, although we have no score from the Philadelphia-Montreal game, Chicago has beaten New York, Pittsburgh over St. Louis, Cincinnati beat Atlanta, and in the 9th, Houston leads Los Angeles by a run. Severiano Ballesteros continued his leadership of the 44th Masters Golf Championship today, shooting a third-round 68, gave him a 7-stroke command of the tournament. He has a 54-hole total, a whopper for that tournament, 13 under par.
All right, go Stars. That's it for Eyewitness News tonight. Thanks at 6 o'clock, that is. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10.
Surf
N-Serve, the nitrogen stabilizer.
This year competing for cash and prizes worth more than $75,000 with this week's celebrity judges. Derek Collins and Marianne Mulvey. Ada's Enough star, Connie Needham. Fantasy Island star, Hervé Villachase, plus the Greenlight girl, Corey Day. And now, here is Dennis.
Hey, what you eating? A new candy bar. Boy, is it crispy. Sounds good. Smells peanutty. What do you call it? Whatchamacallit. Whatchamacallit? That's right. What's right? The name. What name? Whatchamacallit. You forgot the name.
Introducing Hershey's Whatchamacallit, the crunchy new bar of peanutty tasting crisp drenched in chocolate. Whatchamacallit from Hershey. You can ask for it by name.
Can I have some of that? Some of what?
Hi, I am Charo. Watch this beautiful señorita and see why people like to come to Mexico.
I think the workmanship was absolutely fantastic. I had a lot of body work done, a lot of painting, and I was really impressed with the attention to detail. They were very friendly. They took time to answer my questions. They went over thoroughly what they were going to do and how much it was going to cost. It was really nice. They gave me an estimate, and they stuck to it. So I'd recommend Mako to anybody.
Don't worry, Mama. I'm eating right. I'm eating a good dinner at Arby's.
Don't worry, Maman. I'm eating a good dinner at Arby's.
Arby's wholesome super roast beef platter is some dinner. You'll love our super roast beef sandwich, fresh coleslaw, and crispy potatoes.
It's the kind of meal Arby's takes the time to make right.
Don't worry, Mom. I'm eating a good dinner at Arby's.
Don't worry, Mom. They're eating right at Arby's.
Accommodations for contestants furnished by the Los Angeles Bonaventure Hotel, the centerpiece of the new downtown. The Los Angeles Bonaventure Hotel, a fine Western International hotel. The new Pontiac front-wheel drive Phoenix Coupe with advanced engineering for better gas mileage and a transverse-mounted engine, function and flair featuring a special appearance package, Pontiac Phoenix. Morse Electrophonics Disco Jukebox with AM/FM stereo, record changer, 8-track tape player, and multicolored disco lights that flash to the beat of the music, furnished by Morse Electrophonics.